Welcome back. F1 races back into town next week, but Metro has been preparing for months to keep the drivers, their teams, and all the fans safe. Sergeant Jacob Schallenberger and Lieutenant Kendall Bell join us now for Behind the Badge to tell us Metro's plans for this huge event. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning, Alyssa. Thanks for having us. Yeah, F1 is a fantastic event every year. This is now our third year that we're hosting it here in Las Vegas. And one thing from the police department standpoint is we want everyone to have fun, but we want everyone to be really safe. And Lieutenant Kendall Bell and his team are no strangers to preparing for these types of large events, and this is no different than those.
Right, and you're actually part of Metro's planning section, which I think a lot of people probably don't even realize that there is one. So tell us what you guys focus on and how you prepare for such a huge event like this.
Well, yes, we do have a planning section. You're right, a lot of people don't realize we have it. We have 12 officers, 3 civilians, and 2 supervisors. And we plan everything from the Formula One race to events at Allegiant Stadium, marathons, New Year's Eve. So we have our hands in everything in Clark County when it comes to special events.
What makes huge events like this so complicated for police coverage?
Well, the biggest thing is always Homeland Security concerns. We want to make sure that all of our events are safe. So it's always a challenge trying to adapt to different things we're seeing around the world and making sure that we have a plan to combat those.
Right, and so what are some of those plans? How do you make sure you keep the bad guys out so everybody can go out and have a good time?
Well, unfortunately, I can't go into grave detail on the plans because we want to make sure that people can't understand what we're doing. But I can tell you we will have a serious amount of number of officers out there each night in uniform. We'll also have officers in plain clothes.
Okay.
We've been working for months, as you mentioned in the beginning, on this plan. The men and women in my section, we have a working group. We stole an idea that we used from the Super Bowl where we like to take everything and put it in parts. So we have 17 different working groups from public utilities, first responders, everyone, and they've all done their part. And we also have a tabletop exercise that we're doing today to kind of throw out contingencies that could happen to help us be prepared if something should happen.
What do you mean by that, tabletop exercise?
Well, a tabletop is basically we throw out some hypothetical situations like if there was an active shooter or some type of ramming or bombing and how we would respond to that. So in that room we have police, fire, medical, the event, the community, strip resorts, and we all talk about what our response would be to either prevent it or mitigate the damage.
Okay. And while you focus on that, for the rest of the officers, maybe there is some sort of, maybe it's a myth that people are like, well, I can speed today because all the officers are down on the strip taking care of F1. What do you have to say about that?
Well, absolutely. First and foremost, I think Sheriff Kevin McMahill, his big push right now is to reduce our traffic fatalities, and that's something we're really focusing on is our traffic plans and our ability to reduce that number as much as we can. And although we have many of our officers down on the strip working for the F1 event and keeping those folks safe, we do not skimp on any of the officers that we have throughout the valley. We make sure that we have a robust response outside of that.
Okay.
And we actually have a DUI blitz this weekend as well, as well, where we focus on our drunk drivers and we want to reduce those numbers as well.
Okay, so it's not a reduction in force elsewhere, it's actually going to be an increase everywhere.
Absolutely not. Yeah, this is an all hands on deck type of event. The officers that work down there are working on an overtime basis, most of them, so that does not impact the rest of the valley and the officers that we have out there.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming, and happy last minute planning now.
Thank you very much.
You're down to the wire.
Thanks,
Thank you
Melissa.
guys. All right, we'll go to Ken with traffic.